I have played a lot of Baldur's Gate in my life. You know, how much? Okay, so I've played around 700 hours of Baldur's Gate. I've played all the classes, so I know a thing or two about the game. I'm not perfect at it, but I do think I have a good knowledge of it. And one thing that I know is that Baldur's Gate is great. Well, the story is, very good, but also because of the bosses. There is so many ways you can handle one situation, and all the bosses are so unique, and I love it to death. So I saw a video by Toyhouze where he lists the top 15 hardest honor fights in Baldur's Gate 3 and how to beat them. So I thought it would be a fun idea to maybe check it out and maybe even create my own tier list alongside as to where I would place the bosses. But anyways, let's get into the video.
These are the 15 hardest honor mode fights in Baldur's Gate 3. At number 15 is Elliot, the Phase Spider Matrix.
Okay, I do agree with this one. At least at number 15, this is an Act 1 boss, to be fair, so it's not going to be impossibly hard. It's not going to be impossibly hard, but it is a good challenge. Again, I believe is going to go more into depth about the mechanics of the fight. I will also, but I am more vibe based than anything. I am by no means a min-maxer. I just play the game and have fun. I just played it so many times that I feel like I can also give a good adjustment of where they should be. So I made this tier list. Okay, I didn't make the tier list. I found it. I made the things at the side, the categories on the side. I will say this. Where is it? Okay, so in this particular one, Merkel isn't here by himself. Ketheric is also here. So I would just put him alongside who I believe is the hardest boss in the game. It is going to be... Where is he at? Jesus. Okay, there you go. Merkel. Merkel, it is. He is quite a character. Even after many runs of the game, it has taken... I usually play with my buddy. It has taken me and my buddy around upwards to an hour to beat this guy. Just because he keeps summoning his little necrophiles. He keeps summoning the skeletons which heal him. He has the petrifying gaze. Not petrifying, but the paralyzing gaze of fear. Fear makes you so you can't hit him reliably. He has the come here everybody, go screw yourself move. He has the I'll hit everybody and I'll crit you most of the time move. And Dame Aylin is supposed to be there to help you, but if you think she's gonna help you, just leave her in prison. That's all I'm gonna say. If you think Dame Aylin is doing a damn thing, you are gonna be grossly disappointed. She will most likely go for the little brains. She will go to Ketheric, die, get stuck in a spot where she can't revive. Also, you can't heal. I forgot what the debuff is called. You can't heal like on this little platform. You can't heal. So half the time, Dame Aylin is just there getting her ass beat without. And then what's the point? She'll probably miss. Also, I don't like Dame Aylin, and she provides like no support at all. But yeah, that and. You fight, to be fair, you fight Ketheric about 3 times. You fight him at the top of the tower. You go down and then you fight him. You could skip this one, the second fight. But that's not too bad. That's usually what I do on future fights that we have with him. But it's just like, Jesus Christ. I just hate Mercury. He has so much health. He gets healed. He has almost basically everything, and he's just a big stat stick at the end of the day. It's just crazy. If I'm using that word correctly. That's Merkel. Anyways, the spider, you could say it's somewhat easy. It does use the whatchamahoots it does use the webs a lot, so it can entrap you with the webs. It has the summon its little spiderlings, the little baby ones. It's surrounded by normal spiders that can just like jump wherever they want, it feels like. I think the spiders bleed venom or poison, and that's super annoying. Again, it's like the first boss of the game, and I'm sure my opinion is malleable, but for now I agree that this one should be number 15. First act of the game. It's not too hard. Let's keep going.
One of the hardest early game fights in Honor Mode because you're facing a level 5 boss with 162 health alongside 2 phase spiders and potential.
See, I mean, and the phase fighters can literally, I'm sure there's like a set to where they can be, but I feel like they can jump literally anywhere and they just bite you or they jump away and you are so screwed. Oh yeah, I did forget. You can kind of cheese it by, I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen when I say this. Where's the mouse? Oh God, I'm hiding the mouse. Okay. You can kind of throw fireballs at the nets, and this is why I say that Baldur's Gate has like so many different ways in which you can defeat a boss. You can wait until the big spider, I don't know if it has like a legal name, I'm sorry, the mama spider, to get into the webs, and you can surprise it by throwing a fireball at it and breaking the webs under it for massive damage, for humongous damage even. And after that midway mark is when it will summon the little baby spiders, which is just like, they don't have too much health, but they are annoying, just, their sheer number. But yeah, the breaking the webs is also a pretty big advantage you have here.
17 spiderlings. There are 3 groups of eggs around the area, which the matriarch hatches using Matriarch's Call.
And another thing is that I'm also trying to put myself in a perspective to where I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know. Because you can always, if you know the game, of course, you can always like sneak in, take them by surprise, break the spider eggs. So I'm trying to put it like in the middle as to where I felt like when I was first fighting it and the second time. And upon future, and whatever the future runs are where I have all the information, maybe use a cloud of daggers to break all the eggs automatically. Something you probably wouldn't know if you played it for the first time. So there are ways you can get around everything. That's what I'm trying to say.
Can quickly surround your party with spiderlings, dealing piercing and
It also doesn't help that It also does not help that the spiders are immune to the webbing, so they won't get stuck on it, and you most probably will get stuck.
Damage, while the phase spiders can use ethereal jaunt to teleport up to 22 meters as a bonus action, and
you get poisoned too, which is just amazing.
7 damage, while Venomous Discharge deals up to 29 poison damage across a large area. Once per round, when a creature attacks one of her spiderlings, the matriarch can cast Gossamer Tomb, trapping them inside an infested glob for 3 turns, preventing them from moving or taking action.
Anything like that can just like take a party member out is like brutal, especially in the early game. And this also makes you infested, which is just awesome. You can remove it by like fire, but it's just like such an inconvenience.
Infested.
Good thing like most people have firebolt, so it's not like the worst thing. But again, it's Act 1 and it's pretty difficult.
Piercing and poison damage every turn, and spreads to creatures attacking the victim in melee. And the tomb eventually explodes for 10d8 poison damage. Now,
I did forget to mention that.
And infested can be removed with fire or acid damage, but what's even better is spiritual weapon. Spiritual weapon is immune to poison and completely immune to gossip.
I really do underestimate spiritual weapon, honestly. I have to use it in more runs because a lot of people like live and die by it, For 20 health, 20 health isn't like great, but just having like an extra familiar never hurts, especially if they're immune to its legendary action or whatever Cosmic's Tome is.
Tomb, meaning her legendary action can be completely wasted.
I'm just moving all over the place, sorry.
Her spiderlings with a spiritual weapon. Your party can then attack the remaining spiderlings safely until Gossamer Tomb recharges. Ideally, you'd want to destroy all 3 egg clusters.
Yes, also fire arrows will work too, not just Cloud of Daggers. Even though Cloud of Daggers, you just leave it up. You can get some good damage somewhere, but I would suppose fire arrows, it would be the best way to get rid of them.
Well, hidden before combat begins, preventing the matriarch from creating spiderlings in the first place and having the opportunity to cast Gossamer Tomb. Now, because almost all of the matriarch's damage is poison, before beginning the fight, cast protection from poison or drink elixirs of poison resistance.
I also vastly underestimate elixirs. I mostly use the elixir of Bloodlust and the elixir of Cloud Giant or Hill Giant just to boost the strength, which is funny because me and my buddy are both like at the end of the game just full of elixirs of like anti-necrotic, poison, and everything. I don't know why we don't use them. Like putting ourselves at a disadvantage like on purpose. It's crazy.
Resistance, and the matriarch is completely immune to
I did say I'm by no means a mid-max. That's not even mid-max. That's just like good gamer says. I don't know.
poison herself, so avoid poison-based attacks, and keep your party spread so venomous discharge cannot hit multiple characters. A great way to damage her is to wait until she is on a web bridge and then
That's
destroy
what I was saying.
fire, which instantly destroys it. This
That
causes
damage
her to
is
fall
huge.
and take massive damage without having to overcome her 17 AC. However, don't attempt to knock the matriarch directly into a chasm, because on tactician and honor mode, she simply teleports back to her previous position. Once she reaches 50% health,
See, I did not know that. I usually don't knock her down. But I do find it cool that you can knock her down, and I think it ends the fight on non-honor mode. I've never done it. But then you can like resurrect her in the Underdark with gut and like use her. I always find that interesting. I've never done it, but I like that that's an option. I find that
Spider
really cool.
Queen's Wrath grants her an additional attack every turn, increases her strength by 2, and gives her resistance to physical damage. Calm emotions can remove this, but if you don't have it, be prepared to focus her down before she does too much damage. And if
Like anything that has 2 attacks so early in the game, it's just like kind of tough. Not gonna lie. You eventually get 2 attacks, but
the fight goes wrong, Lump's Warhorn does work in the Whispering Depths and can
I refuse to use lumps. I refuse to use lumps on anything other than the Githyanki, the Githyankies in Act 1 before you go into the crash, just because those people will actually decimate you and then dance on your grave while laughing at you and spitting on you, especially the spitting.
summon the 3 ogres from the Blighted Village. At number 14 is the Spectator.
The Spectator. Okay. The Spectator can also go suck my ass. I find it hard, okay? The Spectator, in my opinion, is incredibly hard. It has the area of effect move after you damage it enough, or after you damage it enough, it does like an area of effect. I'm just gonna stun everybody move. It has the if you move too quick to it or into its attack range, if you move too quick into its attack range, it will just paralyze you and then bite you 3 times. It's just like, for how, I mean, this is still Act 1, and I find the Spectator to be absolutely bananas. It also summons the petrified people around the arena, which you can very easily just like hit them once to like snap them out of it. It still makes it pretty hard, even though you have some help. It can also fly, so it can just move like incredible distances. It's pretty crazy. I'm gonna put in hard. I might switch the names of the categories up a little bit, but I think, well, it's not like for Merkel to be next. That's a little nuts. I'll put kind of difficult. Yeah, just kind of difficult. Especially because it does surprise you also. So it could just like all your guys. And if you lose your guys, it's just like any move that can make you like not use a turn, like hold person, even though it's not hold person, it's like paralyzing you, I believe. It is still very tough. So I'm gonna put in kind of difficult, especially for being an Act 1 boss. I mean, there's just one of them, but it has a bunch of health too. Nothing some like crit divine smites can't like help you out with, but it's still pretty hard for being Act 1 in my opinion.
One of the hardest early game fights in honor mode, because the
that's what I'm saying.
Encounter begins.
Oh well, if you use Boulette, then I've never used Boulette here. I just kind of go in raw, straight from the underground little fortress. I am so bad with names. You will learn that. Don't ask me a name for anything. If you use Gut and Boulette, I'm sure it will make it like a lot easier. I usually just use Gut for the Dwagar. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Draugr like it's Skyrim, but I usually use Boulette for the Dwagar, and Dwaygar and the Hulk horrors. But Bullet himself is like pretty tough because of its iron scales. I doubt it's gonna say anything about Bullet because it's not like super difficult, especially because like the Bullet also fights the Minotaurs, it fights the Hulk horrors also usually. So it's not super difficult the Bullet to get. But I see that he's using it here, which is I've never really even considered that strategy, just because I go directly from the outpost on the Underdark, just like straight out. Just to get this fight over with, really.
With your party surprised, causing everyone without alert or 14 does too much damage. And if the fight goes wrong, Lump's Warhorn does work. Encounter begins with your party surprised, causing everyone without alert or other surprise immunity to lose their first turn. The spectator is level 5 with 153 health and has 2 eye stalk actions each turn, allowing it to use
Paranoid Dreams
for up
is
to 35
crazy.
necrotic damage, paralyzing ray, fear ray, or confusion ray, causing their respective conditions. While your party is surprised,
Crit dead. Look at that. Was he full health?
Without alert
he was. To be fair, he wasn't full health. He was missing 20. But that, I mean, like in one round, it could just like absolutely down one of your guys. It's crazy.
Turn. The spectator is level 5 with 153 health and has 2 eye stalk actions each turn, allowing it to use wounding ray for up to 35 necrotic damage, paralyzing ray, fear ray, or confusion ray, causing their respective conditions. While your party is surprised, the spectator will use unpetrification ray on the petrified drow around the area. These drow have spectator's charm and will fight against you. However, spectator's charm ends whenever the affected drow takes damage, so hitting each drow once with your weakest attack or an individual magic missile will break the charm and cause them to fight against the spectator instead. In honor mode, the spectator's legendary action is Ocular Nightmare.
Fuck Ocular Nightmare so bad.
Every time the spectator is hit, it gains 1 turn of Paranoid Dreams. Once it reaches 5 turns, it uses its reaction to unleash Ocular Nightmare, dealing up to 35 necrotic damage and potentially wounding, confusing, paralyzing, or frightening every enemy within 20 meters.
Those are like the worst one. Like petrifying. Wait, he said
Ocular Nightmare, dealing up.
I mean, paralysis is probably the worst one because that's just an instant crit.
Necrotic damage and potentially wounding, confusing,
confusing, or paralyzing. Paralyzing is the worst one, in my opinion.
Or frightening every.
Frightening's pretty bad too, just because you're just never gonna hit them, or you can't move
enemy
also.
Within 20 meters. Now, because each hit adds another turn of Paranoid Dreams, multi-hit attacks such as Magic Missile, Scorching Ray, or Flurry of Blows can instantly trigger Ocular Nightmare. Instead, use hard-hitting single attacks. Every eye ray the spectator fires removes 1 turn of Paranoid Dreams, so allowing it to take its turn naturally lowers the number of turns of Paranoid Dreams. Casting slow on the spectator is an effective tactic because while slowed, it can only take 1 action per turn. The best approach to this fight is to enter with alert or an elixir of vigilance to avoid losing your first turn, and then immediately damage each drow the spectator frees to turn them against it and focus down the spectator with powerful
he's just killing the thing. But just like the hitting with your weakest attack is also a good idea.
While keeping an eye on the number of Paranoid Dreams. Last, make sure not to rely on Sanctuary because for some reason this spectator can still target characters that are protected by it. And at number 13,
is that true?
Dreams. Last, make sure not to rely on Sanctuary because for some reason this spectator can still target characters that are protected by it.
That is the literal move. I mean, probably with its area of effect move, but the literal move, the literal "don't touch me" move, broken. And
at number 13,
let's go off.
3 goblin leaders, Priestess Gut.
Okay, so he's lumping them into 1. Are they separate here? They have to be, right? Are they even on here? Yeah, okay, you're here. Gut is here. Where's Minthara? Okay. In order, I would say that Gut. I think that's her name. Gut is somewhat easy. She doesn't really have too much compared to the other two. She's surrounded by like a good amount of people. If you fight them individually, how me and my buddy do it is that we first take Minthara, then we take Thor Ragsla, and then we take Gut. So Gut is somewhat easy. She is surrounded by a bunch of people that give bliss. She has her shield that makes it really annoying to hit her. So it just like it takes a little bit. Nothing's like impossible to hit. Yeah, she's not too hard. Minthara is like mid-death, I guess, because she has like substantially less people around her. If you take the people, there's a couple like goblins before you fight her. If you take the goblins before you fight her if you kill the goblins that are surrounding her, she's not like super difficult. But if you take the goblins, she's a lot easier because you won't constantly be having another person join the fight, especially with the scrying eye. She does have hold person. I think she can heal herself, like massive heal, like fatty heals too. But she does, the hold person is like disgusting. It always hits like whoever you don't want it to hit, and that's just an insta kill. She will divine smite you, I believe, to oblivion. She is hard, but not like impossible. Thor Ragsland, I'd put him in mid difficulty 2, maybe a little higher. These probably aren't like in order, but I'll see. These aren't in order. They, when they rage, to become immune to, well, not immune, but I believe they become resistant to like physical damage. They have a good amount of people surrounding them too. Thor he's pretty easy if you you can push him down the chasm if you don't mind like the loot that he has or anything. There's a chasm there. You can throw some of his guys down the spider web, the spider hole, and I just think it's funny. The spiders just coming in and beating them up. So he's not like they're not like super difficult. I do believe Thor, just because he will absolutely wallop you if you let him. And he does have more people surrounding him, even though a lot of the people aren't like the best, but they will chunk you down eventually. You do have Hausen for all of these fights. Hausen's bear form is also very good. You can just put him in front of Thor and just like let him wail on Hausen. And you can just keep bear forming or healing or whatever, so it's not really a problem. This does lead to sometimes Hausen getting absolutely killed, which is not good. Definitely not good. For story purposes, but excuse me, overall not too difficult. Still act 1. I still believe that the spectator is harder than all of them. Yeah, the spectator is harder than all of them.
But Minthara and Dror Ragsland. Now, what makes this encounter difficult is that the fight can spill into new areas, pulling more enemies into combat.
And again, I should have kept my mouse. But can I change that right quick? Give me a second. These are the goblins I was talking about. I usually just throw him down here. There's like maybe 1 or 2 off to the side over here. And the scrying eye also, he looks like he took care of. This goblin will automatically try to go towards the war drum that's here, causing a problem. So you kind of want to focus him or just hit the war drum first.
Eventually overwhelm you. There are alarms scattered throughout that can turn what should be 3 distinct controlled.
Also, these guys over here, I mean, I don't see them like bothering with the fight. As soon as you come out with Halson, if you haven't killed them in the past, or if the children didn't alert them, they really aren't a problem, especially with Halson. One of them, I think, summons a warg, if that's the name. It summons the dog. One of them summons the dog, and you just have to focus her or them to just take care of it easily.
One enormous battle against the entire Shattered Sanctum. Now, Priestess Gut is the easiest to isolate. Just speak to her privately.
Oh, okay, to isolate, but I do agree she is like, I still am sad that she is the easiest out of the
and
3.
follow her into the chapel. When there, however, she can use Call for Help, causing 6 goblins to join the fight. The best approach is to cast Silence on Gut and surround her before attacking. Silence prevents her from using Call for Help, and if she attempts to escape Silence, she'll trigger multiple opportunity attacks. She can also use Shield to gain 5 AC and completely block
That shield
magic
is so
missiles, but
annoying.
you
Shield
can
is
force
just
her
a
to
good move
spend
in
her
general, but it's
reaction
just so
on an
annoying.
opportunity attack first, and then burst her down before she gets a turn. Now, Minthara
See, I never thought
is
of that.
much more dangerous because she is a level.
And to be fair, I always forget that shield is like can be used on reaction too, and it just lasts the entire turn, which is so annoying. So taking out the opportunity attack is a good
with
strategy.
67 health, extra attack, and an offhand weapon, allowing her to potentially use Divine Smite 3 times in one turn.
You are so fucked. There is nothing you can do, essentially. You just sit there and just breathe. Just slide it in low, bro. Don't, I mean, no, wait. Give me a second. Just slide it in, Minthara. Honestly, just close your eyes.
She can also cast Hold Person, causing melee attacks against the victim to automatically become critical hits, which is extremely dangerous when paired with Divine Smite. Minthara can Misty Step into melee, give herself advantage with Vow of Enmity, empower allies with Bless and Soul Branding, and restore a large amount of health using Lay on Hands. This makes it best to prioritize or incapacitate her first before.
Yeah, and you will never hold prisoner. Like it is so hard to hold prisoner. It's crazy. And when you do, in my experience, she just gets out of it like in a turn or two. In a turn or two.
Dealing with any surrounding goblins. Before starting the fight against Minthara, it's also a good idea to push the patrolling eye into the nearby chasm and destroy the war drum near her table. The wooden bridge between Minthara's war table and the library can also be destroyed, so be careful when standing on it, and you can use it to instantly kill Minthara, but if you want to recruit Minthara in Act 2, you will need to knock her unconscious. Or if you do decide you want to kill her, you will want the Mind Flayer Tadpole, so knocking her into the chasm isn't the ideal way of killing her. The final and most dangerous goblin leader is Dror Ragzlin, a barbarian with 97 health, extra attack, action surge, and martial advantage, which
I forgot he had action
adds
surge,
another
honestly.
2d6 damage.
Look at that crit. Fank, you're...
One of his allies is...
He's just wailing on him.
He can also rage
Somebody help him.
And use absolute power
Fank
to launch targets as far as 6 meters, so try not to be near the spider pits or any chasms. In honor mode, his legendary action Devoted Galvanism allows to launch targets as far as 6 meters, so try not to be near the spider pits or any chasms. In honor mode, his legendary action Devoted Galvanism allows him to grant every absolutist within 5 meters action surge when you target one of Ragzlin's allies with an ability. This doesn't benefit Ragzlin himself, but it can potentially double the actions of nearby goblins. Because the absolute cultists and goblins all have low health, you should be able to one-shot them before they can benefit from Devoted Galvanism. But if you don't,
always finding spiders, to be fair.
Empowered. You can also begin with the enemies positioned outside the 5-meter galvanized radius before attacking the goblins surrounding Ragzlin. Also, make sure not...
You want to take these goblins out to the west, to the west over here. Just sneak by this door. I don't know if just like casually walk in does something. I always try to sneak by. Those people over there are pretty easy. I always just take care of them first. I don't know if they get added to the fight. I imagine that they would, and that just makes it like even harder.
Giant spiders as allies in honor mode because Ragzlin gains Arachnid Compulsion, allowing him to take control of one nearby spider as a bonus action until his next long rest. You can also place smoke powder and fire wine barrels from the locked room near Roa Moonglow around Ragzlin before combat to make this fight much easier.
See, again, that's something that you wouldn't really do, I think, unless you've already played the game. But that is a good strategy. Also one that we use against Merkel. Still makes them really hard, insanely difficult. It's crazy.
Can also make fighting the goblin leaders easier. At number 12 is Chirai Wawargaz, a level...
Chirai. Where is he? He's this guy. Chirai, I would say, is... he's kind of hard. I'll put him above just because he keeps summoning those stupid swords. And if you don't take, like, in my opinion, you have to like absolutely focus on him. He's not, I don't think in my experience. I think he's not like super hard to just like hold person or just hold person and just like absolutely just wail on him. Um, every time you hit one of his allies, he summons a sword, and those swords have a decent amount of health, and I think they have opportunity attack, and they also just like they are just not a good time depending on, especially with how many he can summon at a time. So I've just put him in kind of hard. The rest of his people around him aren't really that big of a problem. So you just kind of want to wail on him first.
6 Githyanki Inquisitor with 145 health and 4 Githyanki allies. He has extra attack, adds 1d6 psychic damage to every weapon attack, and can teleport 18 meters using Astral Step. Wargaz cannot be surprised and begins with 3 uses of legendary resistance, adding +10 to his next 3 saving throws. Successful saves also trigger Psionic Revenge, damaging whoever forced the save. His Mindsteel Link gives a character -2 AC and vulnerability to psychic damage, while Wargaz gains 1 AC and another 1d4 psychic damage for every connected character. Fortunately, that link ends immediately when the target damages Wargaz. Twice per round, whenever Wargaz or one of his allies are attacked, he can summon a Mind Claw of Tunarath and
30 health, resistant to basically everything. Is that opportunity attack? It's just like 6. It's just like it's surprisingly tough, especially for how many he can summon, and especially because you don't really want to focus down the things that he is summoning. And I think that the swords themselves also count as allies. So if you attack a sword, he can summon more swords, I think.
Legendary action. Now, these flying weapons have 30 health and use Mind Break for 3d6 psychic damage. Whenever one hits someone, Wargaz can immediately apply Mindsteel Link to that character as a free reaction. All this can cause the fight to quickly spiral out of control. So the best approach is to immediately focus down Wargaz rather than his allies. Every single Mind Claw of Tunarath will disappear when Wargaz is
Sorry
killed,
if it was too low before.
If he's unconscious, so do not have non-lethal attacks on. Attacking the other Githyanki first is going to just give him more opportunities to summon more weapons, and it's just going to strengthen him. Now, whenever someone becomes Mindsteel linked, have them damage Wargaz immediately to remove their psychic vulnerability and his bonuses. Psychic resistance is very useful here because almost every mechanic in this fight
See, again, psychic, I don't use elixirs of psychic resistance, which is like our fault, yeah. Kind of like nerfing ourselves for no reason.
Also make sure to avoid using control spells because legendary resistance is going to make his saving throws nearly impossible to overcome.
I don't know, I guess we just get lucky. He has 3 of them, which is crazy. But the +10 on saving is like, it's pretty bonkers. I didn't say we always get it, but we get it a good amount of the time.
And his successful saves are going to deal damage to you through Psionic Revenge. Wargaz can also use Githyanki Parry to reduce one weapon attack's damage by 10, so open up with a Pummel Strike if possible and eliminate him as quickly as you can. At number 11 is Yrgir, because
Yrgir. Now there's a name I haven't heard about in years, just because we always make him kill himself. He's like pretty easy to talk to and just like get him to just like end it all and end everybody around him. I will I might keep him in kind of difficult. The invisibility is just like so annoying. I think all of them are immune to fire. He does like pretty good damage. It's just honestly, he has a lot of health, and he also has a Displacer Beast with him, which are just inherently really annoying. I will say that my opinion, the main thing is his invisibility and the fire resistance, just because I don't know if you'll have like Fireball here, but like a lot of the area of effect moves like Firewall, Wall of Fire, that are supposedly good in like multi-people fights don't really work here. I put him. Let's see what he has to say. I don't really fight Yrgir too much. Maybe he
For
could sway
most
me.
players, the encounter usually begins on the low ground. Yurgir and his
I think you're
Marigons
surprised,
are
too.
all
I forgot
immune
about
to
that.
fire and poison damage, and Yurgir will attack and go invisible at the end of his turns, making him a nuisance to deal with. Proper positioning is important because Yurgir throws a ton of orthonic hand bombs
yeah.
and even
And
more
the bombs
at
too are very
20%,
annoying.
and Nessa will actively use Displace and disrupt your positioning. Yurgir's legendary action marks one character as hunted every round, and if that character attacks or casts a spell, Yurgir can interrupt them with Blinding Ambush, dealing up to 50 radiant damage and potentially blinding them, making this fight chaotic and messy. However, the easiest way to defeat him is through dialogue. After unlocking the contract dialogue as a Bard, Warlock, or with a passive DC 14 investigation check, pass a DC 16 persuasion check to make Yurgir order his Marigons to kill themselves. A DC 21 check convinces him to kill Nessa, followed by another DC 21 check to make Yurgir kill himself, which resolves the encounter. However, if you choose to fight him normally, then do not follow Nessa directly into the ambush. Instead, jump across the gap at the end.
Yeah, there's a back room. There's a back path you can take and just like kind of ambush them. They're just like standing there in a straight line. It looks kind of ridiculous, and I think that's really funny.
Using Enhanced Leap, Misty Step,
They're just all posted up there like they're literally waiting for you. And I guess they are waiting for you because Nessa, which is the legal name of the Displacer Beast that I did not know. No disrespect to Nessa.
or fly, then approach from the south. This places your party on the same high ground as Yurgir and allows you to begin from stealth rather than fighting uphill. Yurgir's invisibility can be countered by Sea Invisibility or Volo's Ersatz Eye. You can also apply Wet to remove his invisibility. Just make sure not to do this on a marked character on Honor mode. Instead, have your hunted character spend their turn repositioning, drinking potions, or using help, ensuring not to cast a spell or to attack. Use area damage and control spells against the Marigons, but avoid relying on saving throw spells against Yurgir because he has magic resistance, and he can see through magical darkness.
I did not know you could see through magical darkness, but this fight to use area of effect spells would be
Finally,
the best
before
option.
reducing
Yeah,
your gear below 20% health, you can remove his reaction by using Shocking Grasp or Flurry of Blows Stagger. Otherwise, Explosive Retribution scatters 14 orthonic hand bombs around him, which detonate for up to 32 fire and 32 force damage each. If the bombs appear, avoid their red blast zones. And at number 10 is the Shadow Cursed Shambling Mound.
Really, the mound. I never really struggled with the mound too much. Is he even here? He is not here. I wouldn't even consider him like a... Well, I mean, he's like a mini boss. I guess hard is honor mode fights. He is a fight. Yes. He is annoying because he could just like root people from like a huge distance. But I wouldn't really say he is like that big of a problem. Bigger than the... I'd rather fight him than the spectator, honestly. I'd put him in like... Again, I'd put him in like somewhat easy, maybe like right here. This is my opinion, but maybe I'm forgetting something, honestly.
Because it is completely immune to piercing and lightning damage.
That is tough, I will say. I do forget that. If you have a piercing or lightning person, it's just like it's tough. But I usually keep a lot of diversity in my party, so it's not like extremely a problem, but yeah, that is tough. I will agree with that.
Archers and Tempest builds are useless against this creature, and it also has an instant kill ability called Devour. Not only that, but the creature
does it. Again, I never. If you think that thing is getting close to me, you are mistaken. Like, I've never been devoured, honestly. Like, I've played this game so many times. I fought this thing because it's optional. Because it is an optional, fight. Sometimes I just go and don't even like bother. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never been devoured by this thing.
Which deals 3d10 necrotic damage to any target that ends its turn within 17 feet and possibly entangles. Devour. Not only that, but the creature also has Wretched Growth, which deals 3d10 necrotic damage to any target that ends its turn within 17 feet and possibly entangles it. To defeat this creature, the most
Again, I usually I usually ambush this guy. Um, and he rarely gets close to me. I did forget about that aura that he has, which could be very annoying.
Important tactic is to use freedom of movement or elixirs of guileful movement before combat, which provide immunity to the restraining conditions used throughout the encounter, eliminating the threat of being devoured. Alert or an elixir of vigilance is also useful because spotting the ambush requires a DC 30 perception check. What you want to do is keep your entire party at range and end every turn more than 5 meters from the mound to avoid wretched growth. Melee attacks against the mound or its vine blights can also cause the attacker to become entangled. Eliminate the 2 vine blights first because they apply constrict, followed by the needle blights, and make sure to kill them from a distance. Finally, make sure to use force, radiant, thunder, or acid damage through attack roll spells or abilities without saving throws because the shambling mound also has magic resistance.
That's
Once
the blowing
the
up
smaller
I was
enemies
talking
are
about.
eliminated, spread out and kite the mound with range.
Oh, maybe not. I guess it's not that big of a damage because that's piercing. He's immune to piercing. Maybe I was just smoking crack on this one. I gotta be honest.
Attacks staying more than 15 meters away whenever possible, so Adhesive Whip cannot pull anyone into melee. And at number 9 is the Blushing Mermaid Auntie Ethel, because
Ethel, because you fight her twice. Ethel 1 is very hard in my opinion. You can't, if you're a spellcaster, you're just pack it up, buddy. If you're a spellcaster, just pack it up. She can hold person. The copies that she summons can also, I don't know if they can hold person, but they're extremely annoying. If you know the trick, I mean, you can always find which one is the real one, to be fair. So it's not like insanely difficult. I put kind of difficult, maybe. I don't know, because kind of like hard, because there's Merkel, don't get me wrong. And then kind of difficult, I don't call her hard. Like, none of these I would consider like super hard. Like there's Ethel, like Merkel, I'm always like, ugh, fucking Merkel's coming up. Like, I haven't been like that with like any of these guys. Ethel 2 can be a little annoying just because you have to defeat her mushrooms. I think the spell is called Blight. You can just use Blight and like get rid of them if you know it's coming up. You just can't really hurt her. I mean, she just will revive if you don't get the mushrooms. So it's just like, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what he says. I'm still pretty firm on everything. In the mound, I would put like, I guess not somewhat easy because I didn't know that. I put him like harder than the spider, I would say. Maybe in between gut and the spider. I don't know. I've honestly have never struggled with the mount like that. But let's see what he says about Ethel.
In order to even hope to defeat Auntie Ethel, you need to first destroy all 3 of the Pearl Spore Bell mushrooms, 2 of which are on platforms that you'll need to cross a chasm to get to. If not destroyed, Ethel will be revived upon death until all 3 are destroyed. These mushrooms also heal themselves fully at the start of each of their turns. This mechanic
I did forget to mention that. The full heal is very annoying.
Difficult, but when you cast a spell, she also summons illusory duplicates, which cast Insect Plague, dealing 4.
Which again, I mean, oh no, I wonder which one she is. You know, it's not like you don't have to be a genius to figure it out, but they are annoying just because they attack you also.
Damage per turn, and then immediately go invisible through her legendary action, Weird Magic.
The invisibility is also like a big problem. It's not like a huge deal, especially if you have like area of effect stuff, even like like an arrow, you can maybe like fire through her and hit her. It's a little hard, don't get me wrong, but I never consider her invisibility to be like a huge detriment to the fight.
If you're trying to save Vanra, this chaos can make it easy to forget you need to use non-lethal attacks on Ethel to save Vanra or throw Hagsbane, all in all resulting in a surprisingly difficult encounter. To defeat her before entering her lair, make sure to knock out her 3 masked servants. This prevents them from joining Ethel and allowing them to survive after she is killed.
I never even noticed. I never really realized that because a lot of the times I just like go in and beat the people outside because I'm a psychopath. But the people outside aren't like that big because you can get like a pretty good range advantage over them, I think. But the people outside have never really caused me a problem, nor have they joined because they are 6 feet under by the time
During
I fight
combat,
Ethel.
the most important targets are the 3 Pearl Spore Bells, which give Ethel +5 to her saving throws, each on Tactician and Honor mode. Burning, Bone
Actually, I didn't know
Chill,
that.
or Arrows of Ilmater prevent their healing, allowing you to destroy them across multiple rounds. Make sure to trigger Weird Magic Surge by using a cantrip or low-level spell before casting any high-level spells. Every duplicate disappears after taking any damage, so remove them with Magic Missile, Arrow of Many Targets, or Scorching Ray. Use C Invisibility.
You can also use, well, I mean, it takes a reaction, but whenever they cast a move, you could use Psionic Backlash to just get rid of them.
Or Create Water to reveal invisible duplicates, and the real Ethel can be identified by the Hag Pregnancy condition. Make sure to spread everyone more than 8 meters apart to prevent Ethel's Ray of Sickness from jumping between party members, and focus her with weapon attacks and attack roll spells because her layer magic gives her magic resistance. You can also use the Barrel Stalk Fungus on the upper platform to gain haste spores, which functions like haste. Throw Hag's Bane at Ethel to force her to regurgitate Vanra, or use non-lethal attacks for the final blow to remove Vanra from her unconscious body. At number 8 is Shadowfell Balthazar, fighting Balthazar.
See, Balthazar. I don't want to put him low because he is hard. Just like the sheer amount of people that he summons is like insane. But there's a little move called a Wall of Fire, right? One Wall of Fire from essentially here to here. But you win. One Wall of Fire, since Wall of Fire is like insane, from here to here, you just win. The little guys get taken out almost immediately. The big guys, they kind of, they trudge, that's a word, right? They trudge through the Wall of Fire. They try to kick you off, which is like a little, and they try to kick you off and it's an insta-kill if they do, which is very annoying, but you can literally, I think you can throw off the bones here. I don't know if that starts the fight or not, which I doubt. But you can throw off the bones here. I'll put a person there, Wall of Fire, all of this. I don't know why it's I'm sorry. Anyways, you get Wall of Fire from here to here. It's just like over at that point, I have to be honest. There's still like more like, I think the mages are up. No, the mages and like some archers. The archers are here. I think the mages are here. That part can be kind of annoying, but like Wall of Fire just like trivializes this fight like so bad. I'm not like, you just like after that you can just wail on him. It's like, I don't know. Well, I mean, it's not, I'm not gonna put him mid diff. I'll put him like end of kind of difficult, just because he has like a lot of powerful magic he could use too. Which I'm forgetting the name of right now. I don't want to put like a lot in kind of difficult, but I'll see from the video. He didn't really mention these. I might organize these a little later just for fun, but I don't know. Nothing like hard has taken the
in the
lead.
Shadowfell is much more difficult because there are dozens of skeletons to deal with, along with the possibility of being shoved and instantly killed. On Honor mode, Balthazar casts the Dead Wastes from a corpse, healing 3d6 to any undead within it and dealing 4d6 to any living creatures, preventing healing and increasing movement costs. When struck, he gains immunity to cold and necrotic damage and resistance to acid, fire, lightning.
I actually just thought he was immune to necrotic because he's a, why would he not be,
and thunder, along with immunity to a number of conditions, and applies Bone Chill when
Buddy, get in the frame. What are you doing? Get in the frame. Sorry if I'm talking. Get in the frame, dog. This camera sucks. Be sure to subscribe also if you're enjoying the video. It would help me out. I'm also planning on going live a couple times for some maybe some more reacts. Go to Cryojemz or go to here I don't have a schedule yet, but I'm also trying to do a Dead God Isaac, Binding of Isaac run. I'm close to it, so I just kind of want to finish it off, but that's something I would be looking forward to. And if you enjoy the content and you want to actually be inside of the video, or inside of me, not kidding. If you actually want to be in the video, I would like to stream eventually as I do some of these. So I thought it'd just be a fun time. So I don't have I don't have like a schedule, but just be sure to go here if you would like, if you feel interested in just chatting, also being in the video, just give me your own opinions. I would love to talk to you.
Through spectral aspect. To defeat Balthazar, the easiest tactic is to kill him inside the Gauntlet of Shar.
See, I have never done this because you can like open his door and get the justiciaries to fight them, and you could just like go on your merry way. I've never done this, but maybe I should.
Instead of waiting until the shadow fell. Before betraying him, persuade Balthazar to give you the Summon Golem Bell and use flesh in another encounter such as against Yrgir and ensure he is killed in battle. If you can't manage...
that is smart. Also, he gets me the bell. I have never used it a single time. I just forget it. I don't know. I don't know how good Meat is. I think his name is Meat. I don't know how good he is, but I just never use it.
In combat, fire damage will actually give him disadvantage on his attack rolls due to his aversion of fire. Before combat, you should also purchase Balthazar's Potion of Speed through the trade menu, because otherwise he will drink it at the beginning of his first turn. During combat, focus Balthazar before his undead, because he can resurrect fallen allies with half their health. His undead ward aura also gives nearby undead resistance to physical damage. Balthazar has magic resistance and 3 uses of legendary resistance, so avoid relying on control spells or abilities requiring saving throws. Force and radiant damage still work normally against his spectral aspect, and if you choose to fight him in the Shadowfell, keep everyone away from the edge, have poison resistance to protect against Cloud Kill and Ray of Sickness, and burst Balthazar down before dealing with his army of undead. At number 7 is Grim,
Grim is either really, really hard. I'll put him in hard. Grim is either really hard or insanely easy, and there's like no in between. The first time I ever like hit him, or like the first time I ever beat him, I got an achievement. The first time I ever beat him, I got an achievement saying like, "Way to go! You beat him without using the hammer." I'm just like, you can use the hammer? And it turns out that if you superheat him and he walks under the giant hammer, you can just like click it, and it crushes him for massive damage. I didn't use that. He summons little sprites that are annoying, and they can heat metal, and they can also, and they blow up into magma, I think, which is also very annoying. He is, I think, either he takes like reduced. I think either he's reduced. It's off the top of the dome. Sorry. Either he's reduced or is immune to like piercing and like slashing. So you would have to use like blunt attacks, which not like everybody has. Unless he's superheated. When he's not superheated, I think he's immune to like, not immune, but he's like resistant to like basically everything. And it's just really annoying. Just balancing like the heated mechanic. And also he always moves 10 feet more than I think he's capable of. And his stomp hurts everybody, and he's always down. And he always downs everybody. And it's just like, the Grim fight's coming up, you know. You gotta, like, if you have like Mage Hand, you can put it on the platform. It's not like impossible to do. I'm sure if you balance him enough, if you have other familiars, it's not like impossible. It's just really annoying that he kind of just has to be superheated. And then there's lava everywhere, so don't touch the lava or you're melt alive in front of your friends. It's just like, ugh. This one made me like, ugh, the Grim Forge fight, you know. You do get good armor out of it. And you can cheese it with the owlbear strategy of just like jumping down on him, which I've never done. But you do have your options, but like depending on how you fight him, he's definitely like a challenge most of the time. I'd say he's a challenge most of the time, than not that much. Then more of a challenge than he is not a challenge.
Level 10 Adamantine Golem with 450 health, 18 AC, and attacks dealing up to 30.
Did you see that?
Army of undead. At number 7 is Grim, a level 10 Adamantine Golem with 450 health, 18 AC, and attack.
Why are you getting hit? Look at where he is. That's actually insane. That's crazy. Like, that stomp is humongous. There's no way you should get hit by Quake when you're over here. It just, you have to space out your team so much too.
Dealing up to 39 damage. Grim can also use Quake to
You can balancing his primed target is also like, it can be easy, just like having him going like back and forth, but having him stop on the platform to actually make him get hit by the hammer can be like it could be a little difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm just bad, but I doubt it.
Nearby characters prone, and he inflicts melee attackers with reeling. Grim's adamantine skin makes it immune to all damage until it becomes superheated.
All damage? He's immune to all damage. Did I hear that right? I thought he was resistant. He's immune?
Skin makes it immune to all damage until it becomes superheated by standing in lava.
That's crazy.
Once superheated, it becomes vulnerable to bludgeoning damage, but remains resistant to piercing, slashing, acid, thunder, cold, and force, and completely immune to everything else. The lava disappears after 2 turns, making Grim invincible again, so you must repeatedly activate the lava valve using an attack, mage hand, or action. Grim also marks the last creature that attacks it as its prime target and pursues them whenever possible. This allows
this guy is big stepping. I mean, he has so much movement
by choosing which character attacks it last, but be careful not to make opportunity attacks against it, as it will mark your melee character as the prime target and immediately attack. On honor mode, Grim has adamantine reverberation. Once per round when Grim is struck, it gains 10 temporary hit points, doubles its movement speed, and removing those temporary hit points releases a shockwave, dealing 4d8 thunder damage and knocking nearby characters back 4 meters, potentially launching them into the lava, which causes a massive amount of damage. Now, ideally, you'll want to trigger adamantine reverberation and break through the temporary hit points from
this fight is so dog. Oh my god, he's I mean, honestly, you need that sacrifice sometimes, but sacrificing 2 people is crazy.
Grim command halt can prevent
but it was
Grim from
no, I thought it was to kill them at least.
As well. Now, the intended strategy is to place your party on the lava-free islands and use prime target to lure a superheated Grim into the central anvil. Only 1 leg needs to touch the pedestal, and you can also use minor illusion since Grim only has 3 intelligence. Activate the hammer lever with a ranged attack.
And I know about minor illusion.
To deal 12d8 bludgeoning damage doubled by Grim's vulnerability and knock it prone. The hammer immediately removes superheated, so you will need to reactivate the lava and repeat. Magma methods will be summoned, making fire resistance useful in this fight. Alternatively, you can just stay on the elevated entrance stairs because Grim has no ranged attacks, and you can use ranged attacks to operate the valve below while everyone above attacks, or you can use
I knew about the owlbear strat. I figured you could do this too because I do remember seeing it like once at least, but I've never like cheesed it like this
with the hammer. And at number 6 is Raphael, who is one of the hardest.
Raphael is pretty difficult. I'll put him in hard. Where is he? Raphael is pretty difficult. I'll put him in hard above Grim. His demon form is insane. He has aura because he sings his own song. The aura alone is like mental damage to the player, the human player. The people that are around him, I forget their legal name, but like the demons, the devils that he summoned are surprisingly tough. You do have Hope for this fight. She's just like a heal bot. She can use divine intervention when you're like really low. You can exhaust all your high spells. Your high what's it called? Your high cost spells. Yeah. Your high cost spells to, damage whatever or deal the damage you need to, and then like rest with Hope, like a free full rest with divine intervention. You have to destroy his pillars, which isn't the hardest thing. They do have like a surprisingly good amount of health, but if you have like a monk or like anything with bludgeoning damage, it's really not too big of a problem. He does have 4 of them, which is like crazy, and force damage I think too. He does have 4, which is like annoying. That's like a good amount. Like bro, they just have 3, like rules of 3. A lot of it, he has a move that I forget how he triggers it. but it just like rains down upon you. It just takes away like half your health in like in an instant, and his area of effect is like crazy. He has like the big fire, but like he has like a lot of things. He has a, I'm sorry, I slammed the desk. I'm sorry if the camera keeps moving, but he has a bajillion health, and it's like super difficult to take care of him. Thank God you have hope. You will probably go through a good amount of potions unless you can get like hold person. I don't know if you need hold person or hold monster for him. I think when he transforms, you can hold monster him, I think. But yeah, I would put him in hard. You need to be well prepared for him. Like use a spell of sort, not a spell. I would hope you use a spell, but you just go in there full health. Like it'll be a battle, honestly.
Just fights on honor mode because,
especially, I mean, there's a good thing you could recruit your gear to fight alongside you, so that like helps out a good amount. I've only not had your gear like maybe once, but him disappearing, his invisibility is just like it's really good because he stays alive for a pretty good amount of time. Yeah, he has like fairly decent health, I think. I don't know. I feel like half the time he's invisible, so he's not gonna hit anyways. And he has like repulsion, concussion arrows, so it's not too hard. I mean, it's not like too bad. He's a good assist for this, and I think you'll need him more than. I think having him is like a very good. I think having him is a very good thing to do. Like getting him on your side. It's just one less enemy because he's pretty tough.
You're not only fighting a boss with 666 hit
yep, there
points,
he goes.
but also 6 vengeful cambions, Corilla, potentially Yurgi.
I don't know, wait. I mean, honestly, brother, like don't even mention Corilla. If you recruit your gear, it's like he has something against her. He will absolutely just pick up Corilla, just like juice her, turn her into a smoothie. Like Corilla is nothing, honestly.
And 4 soul pillars that empower Raphael. Each nearby soul pillar adds 1d12 fire damage to Raphael's attacks, increases his dexterity by 3, gives him another soul charge for casting his strongest abilities, and allows him to regain 3d6 hit points when using consumed souls. And if all that wasn't difficult enough, the number of soul pillars available at the beginning of each round will determine how many legendary actions Raphael can use. Legendary actions like beguiling, rebuke, charming whoever attacks him, and nearby
that move is annoying too.
All of them from attacking Raphael. This is a really nasty condition since it's both AoE and it lasts 2 turns, so make sure to spread out before attacking Raphael.
Also, yeah, Hope, just like how's it called? Revoke invitation or revoke house pass. Just like you're gone. Just like last thing you see, and you just evaporate. So I think she could use that maybe like 3 or 4 times. I think it's like, I'd say like 3 or 4. I mean, if you use divine intervention, you could use it more. I think, but removing the guest pass is like huge.
If you can cast this,
It's just like an insta kill. It's crazy.
Pillars, Raphael permanently enters his ascended fiend form and receives 4 soul charges. This allows him to cast Ravaging Inferno for 20d6 hellfire damage, which completely ignores fire resistance and immunity, or use Soul Ascension to deal 60-10 necrotic damage.
Yeah, if you just like, I think that's Raphael that's stunned. That's a held person. But if you use hold person,
while also
just
transforming
wail
his
on him.
remaining cambions into Hellfire cambions. Raphael can even use multi-attack and immediately gain an action surge to use multi-attack again, or instantly kill a
I do like that. What's happening? He's like, this guy's so hard. This isn't that. Hold person, 1 turn, already have dead. Like it's truly like if you get lucky in this game, it's like some fights are just like so
character
easy.
Below 1/3 of their maximum health using Harvest Soul. Personally, I skip killing the pillars at all. In my opinion,
really,
the best way to approach this fight is to first.
Yeah, he used hold monster. I doubted you could use hold person, but this is him in his ascended form, so I think maybe that's why. I don't know if he's in his ascended form, honestly. But I still rest my case that he is fairly difficult. I don't have a problem with
Rescue
where I put
Hope,
him on my
convince
tier
your
list.
gear to join you, and use the restoration faucets repeatedly before the fight to cast as many conditions and summons.
Level 5. Yeah, you can, I think this is revoke invitation. You can use this, I guess, 4 times, even though you'll probably, by the time you get the second charge, you might have defeated like a good amount of the Cambions already. I think those are the Cambions. So I don't know.
As possible, with the equivalent of infinite long rests. During the fight, Hope can use revoke guest status to permanently remove a Cambion from the fight, or even your gear if you lost the persuasion check to get him to join you.
I did not know
he
that,
would
actually.
be the better target in that scenario.
Again, your gear's basically always on my side.
Hold monster on Raphael as soon as you can after getting turns of arcane acuity to increase your chance of success through the Hat of Fire acuity or the Helmet of Arcane acuity. This causes him to skip his next turn and cause every melee attack roll against him to become a guaranteed critical hit, allowing you to quickly burst him down. Make sure you avoid dealing radiant damage because Raphael can use Punished Divinity to stun the attacker before dealing 6d12 necrotic damage with soul drain and healing himself for half the damage. The Cambions can also reflect twice the radiant damage dealt to them.
Feel those legs. What is happening here?
Meaning dealing
Raphael, get up!
Can
no!
Kill your own character. And at number 5 is Betray Dame Aelin.
See, like, why would you betray Dame Aelin? Like, I don't know. I've honestly never have fought this fight because, like, I'm not like an asshole. So, like, is she even here? I doubt it. No, she's not here. I doubted it. I don't have much to say for this fight just because I have never been. I don't even know like what she's capable of. If it's how she fights Merkel, then like just have her, man. Just give me the sword, Dame. It's over. Like, what are you gonna do? She does have the lunar beam, which like is really annoying, and she can hit pretty hard when she does hit, which is bad in this situation, I guess. But I don't know. We'll see.
Because betraying her creates one of the hardest fights in Baldur's Gate 3. Choosing to fight Dame Aelin in Ramazith's tower causes Selûne to immediately grant Aelin 100 temporary hit points, 22 strength, advantage on every attack, and resistance to fire, cold, lightning, radiant, and necrotic damage through the condition Moon Mother's Embrace. It also secretly makes Aelin more likely to target the player character. She also summons Moonlight Slivers, each with 24 AC and 200 health, even on balanced.
Yeah, how come you couldn't do that for Merkel? Like, are we serious? Are we dead ass, Aelin? You could have summoned those.
Difficulty, and their aura gives Aelin an additional 5d8 radiant damage on every weapon attack. They can also cast Silvered Bulwark, which is Globe of Invulnerability, as a bonus action, making everyone inside completely immune to damage. The best part is that attacking a sliver triggers Selûne's Ire, dealing up to 144 radiant damage as a reaction, casually just deleting your character. This fight makes you question where these allies were during the Kendrick fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what? You could just do that? Like, that's nuts.
Why did you choose to fight Dame Aelin? Now, winning this fight is done by focusing Aelin. Once she is downed, the encounter ends. Since the slivers have such high AC and health, and they have a dangerous reaction, interrupting their Silvered Bulwark is best done through a spell like Sleet Storm. Alternatively, try to counterspell it or break concentration through Magic Missile. The slivers have +7 initiative, so Alert is a great feat for this fight. And if you have no choice but to directly attack a sliver to break concentration, try attacking with a summon first to eat Selûne's Ire, since each sliver can only react once per turn. And at number 4 is the Apostle of Merkel, which is one of the hardest fights.
At number 4, I'm gonna turn it up a little more. The Apostle of Merkel. Y'all know I already explained it in the beginning. This fight can actually go kick rocks. Like, every time I get here, I'm just like, ugh. Like, I know I'm gonna be here for like 45 minutes unless like I play it perfectly. It also has a Mind Flare, and the Mind Flayers are just like annoying in general to take care of just because of their, well, I mean, not just because, but mainly in my opinion, just because of the area of effect, stun, get bugged, get stunned, and then they slurp out your brains. Don't threaten me with a good time of slurping out my brains, but like, come on, man.
It's on honor mode, known as the Run Ender because there is no escape, and it is the first real damage check for your party. This fight begins against Ketheric alongside a Mind Flayer for Intellect
You can just skip this part, which is like, well, it helps out tremendously. I don't think this fight's like, this section's like too bad, especially if you saved Isabeau. Because she will be fighting alongside him if you didn't get a chance to save him, and if Last Light In falls.
And 4 Necromites, while Dame Aelin is restrained and Ketheric is completely invulnerable until she...
Yeah, what you can do also is turn invisible after the cutscene and just sneak over to Dame Aelin and just free her off the bat, so you don't even have to like waste your time to go over there. I wonder if he's going to say that.
Ketheric
He probably will.
This
video has been very good and very informative.
And can quickly kill characters using Divine Smite, and gains Horde Strike on honor mode, allowing him to launch a Hammer of Spectral Force, dealing 4d8 force damage to a creature being attacked by his minions. Once Ketheric is defeated, he immediately transforms into the Apostle of Merkel, who has 390 hit points, 20 AC, reduces all incoming damage by 2, and has resistance to all slashing and piercing damage, in addition to cold and necrotic damage. Merkel's presence also bone chills every nearby creature, completely preventing your characters from healing while standing on his platform. The Apostle also attacks with Reaper's Scythe for slashing and necrotic damage, potentially knocking your character off the platform. Not only that, the Apostle also summons endless waves of skeletal involucres, which explode and summon a Necromite.
Did you know? I don't think they're endless. Me and my... When I said we fought him for an hour, he just stopped summoning them. Like, I don't think they're endless. We actually got to a point where I think he just like stopped summoning them. I don't know if there's a new patch or like something happened or I'm misremembering, but I swear to God, he stopped summoning them, and we're just like, damn, we are so trash.
These appear in seemingly random locations to the tune of 4 at a time. At a minimum, these will absorb your team's attacks as you try to deal with them, and at worst, they will explode, dealing damage to you, followed up by Reach from Beyond damage from the summoned Necromite, and most dangerously, the Apostle can consume a Necromite to heal for 8d8 hit points and gain access to Finger of Death, which deals up to 86 necrotic damage. His honor mode legendary action allows him to use Gaze of the Dead against the first creature that attacks him each round, dealing up to 40 necrotic damage and potentially causing frightened, causing disadvantage on attack rolls and immobility. Now, the best way to handle this fight is to first use the Restoration Pod before taking the elevator down, keeping in mind you can only use it once on honor mode, applying as many conditions as possible. Then before combat begins, send an invisible scratch directly to Dame Aelin. If you spare her,
Scratch, you can summon Scratch and do stuff,
action to free her immediately, allowing the rest of your party to focus on killing the Mind Flayer, Intellect Devourers, and every Necromite before defeating Ketheric. Keep in mind that convincing Ketheric to kill himself through dialogue might sound beneficial, but it will immediately begin the Apostle phase while all of his allies are still alive. And the Apostle actually begins summoning those 4 skeletal involucres immediately.
I never considered that,
actually. This fight significantly harder. Having a summon make the first attack each round to absorb his legendary Gaze can help avoid getting your strikers targeted, and Darkness or Hunger of Hadar are also effective because the Apostle cannot move, meaning he will remain inside them and be blinded, causing disadvantage on his attacks. Blood of Lathander can also cause blinded if you're close enough, and you can actually disarm the Apostle to remove Reaper's Scythe completely, eliminating both its damage.
Yeah, I've tried that so many times. It has never landed. He is always shoving that scythe up my ass.
And its knockback. Finally, make sure to use Bone Chill, Doomhammer, or Arrows of Ilmater to prevent the Apostle from healing, move off the platform before attempting to heal, and try to use Magical Bludgeoning, Force, Fire Radiant, or Lightning damage, which the Apostle has no resistance to, and since the Apostle can become wet, lightning damage can be doubled against it.
Another thing that I use is the big smoke powder barrel sometimes, just to like get it over with. It does only like take away like half of his health, or like maybe a little more than half. But still, you have to get so far away. It's like it's a pretty big risk if you don't get too far away. But that is something else you could use.
Speaking of lightning damage, at
Answer is, I think it's this. I don't know what I don't know what this is. I don't know. I gotta be honest. I just don't know. Answer is I'm torn between Answer. I don't know, because Answer, I'd say he's harder than Raphael. Answer has the big move that you have to hide behind a crystal for, like the big raid boss move. He can fly around. I think that he also has was it fire? It's like a breath attack every time you hit him. He summons the two. I think he summons like a water and an air elemental, or I forget the legal name for them, but he summons two things. He has a lot of health too. He keeps moving around. I don't know. There's again, there's a lot of things that I forget about him. Also, it's just little ritual or steps that you have to go through, just like annoying, like the chess pieces and like the judge and stuff. I just banished that guy. I don't have time to deal with that guy. But yeah, let's see what he says, because I'm sure like I'm forgetting like a lot of stuff.
He is Answer, who is one of the hardest fights on Honor Mode because he has 600 hit points, magic resistance, 3 legends.
See what I mean? I mean, he's paralyzed right now. He's already one of the hardest fights in the game.
Legendary resistances against
like brother, like come on. A Myrmidon is what they're called, I think. I thought it was. I think these are just water ones. I thought you had one water and one
incapacitating effects, and reduces all incoming damage by 4. This damage reduction applies separately to every damage type, meaning smaller damage riders.
He is just absolutely wailing on this guy.
Hex and Falara Luve's Shriek can be completely nullified. It also makes multi-head attacks such as Magic Missile significantly worse, since every individual hit is reduced.
Bro, let him breathe.
Answer is also completely immune to lightning and poison damage, resistant to necrotic damage, and has extremely high saving throws against almost everything except for intelligence. The first attack against Answer each round causes him to immediately retaliate using Lightning Breath for 12d6 lightning damage. This breath can hit multiple characters, meaning one attack can cause damage to your entire party if you are grouped together. Once Answer loses about half his health, he begins gathering power to use Stormheart Nova. Despite hoarding energy, displaying 2 turns, you only have 1 turn to find cover before he deals 18d10 lightning damage across the entire.
It's huge. Like the damage is insane.
Area. Stormheart Nova is supposed to allow a dexterity saving throw for half damage, but it is bugged, and everyone will take full damage and will be knocked backwards. After the first Nova, 5 lightning strikes begin appearing every round, and the rain makes.
Oh yeah, I forget. Like the lightning strikes are like, excuse me, they're like. I think they're a nuisance. They're like pretty easy to dodge. They're just like, I don't know.
Your entire party permanently wet, causing them to be vulnerable to lightning damage.
I wish does it show like turn? I know this guy, like, I think he paralyzed it and just like absolutely wailed on him. This has to be like turn 3 or 2.
Wasn't hard enough. When Answer reaches 0 hit points on Honor Mode, he will actually come back to life with 100 temporary hit points, remove any incapacitation.
I forget about this part. Like, we just book it towards the exit. I have to be honest. Like, whoever stays behind, like, there's always withers. Good. I'll see you, and I'll see you later. That's minus like 200 gold. Whoever stays behind, if you're too slow.
And immediately start charging another Stormheart Nova. Now, the best way to deal with Answer is to take advantage of his very low intelligence saving throw and use Mind Blast on him. When stunned, Answer doesn't take reactions, legendary or not.
See, turn 1, by the way. I knew it was turn 1 because He was turn 1. He was already like 3/4 of his health is just
So
like
you can just
gone.
completely unload all of your damage on him without being careful. Mind Blast is learned by becoming a partial Illithid, which your whole party can learn. Shield of Thralls can also potentially stun when it breaks, causing an intelligence saving throw. So use that as well on your melee party members. When it comes to damage, arrows of dragon slaying and arrows of undead slaying are especially effective because Ansur counts as both an undead creature and a dragon. Powerful individual attacks are also much better than smaller attacks because of
And just banishing the 2 Myrmidons.
Worms. Scales,
Also a
Hunter's
good
Mark,
tactic
and
too.
Elixir of the Colossus work well because their bonus damage is added to an existing damage type instead of creating another separate damage source. Wall of Fire can also deal reliable damage because Ansur repeatedly flies between the same 2 positions. If you can't finish him
I did not know that. Well, I knew that he flies. I just never noticed it was like the same 2 positions, honestly.
within the stuns, you can prevent his opportunity attacks by removing his reactions with Arms of Hadar or Flurry of Blows Stagger, allowing your characters to safely move away from him. But it does not stop his legendary reaction. A character with Evasion would be ideal to make the first attack against Ansur each round while standing away from everyone else, triggering Draconic Wrath, since Evasion can completely
The
negate
waiting storm is arisen.
the lightning breath damage on a successful dexterity saving throw. His 2 water myrmidons can be pushed directly into the surrounding chasm to kill them instantly, and when Ansur begins gathering power for the first time, you can hide behind one of the attuned crystals to remove Ansur's ire, which is the indicator for which targets will take damage from Stormheart Nova, and you will complete.
Honestly, I never even noticed an indicator. I gotta be honest. I just hope for the best.
Completely avoid Stormheart Nova. These crystals are destroyed by the explosion, so Globe of Invulnerability or Wall of Stone should be used for the second Nova trigger.
You know what? Like, did you see what that guy did on round 1? Like, round 1, he was already dead. Like Raphael just summons like way too many guys for that to happen. Ansur has 2. I mean, he has like Ansur has like good spells and like like the lightning breath and stuff that he has, and like the Ansur's ire. I mean, that's the passive. I don't know if that's the name of it. But like Raphael just has so many things, like so many more people. I don't know, but you have Hope. Like Hope really truffles. Yeah, sure. Hopefully truffles this interaction with the full heal she gets, the full rest she gets, and all the healing she could do, and the revoking the guest license. I think in my opinion, Raphael is harder than Raphael is one of the hardest in the fights.
By Unrelenting Storm if you can't kill Ansur by then. You can also cast Autoluke's Resilient Sphere on Ansur while he is hoarding energy, which prevents Stormheart Nova from dealing any damage at all, and it is relatively easy to apply due to his low dexterity. You can also banish Ansur as well to avoid the Nova. And last, make sure to give your party lightning resistance through elixirs of lightning resistance, protection from energy, a transmuter stone, or equipment such as
use your resistances, kids. Use your elixirs. Don't be like me.
Become wet, you'd be vulnerable to the majority of Ansur's damage. At number 2 is Orin the Red, because Edict of
Orin is hard. I think she is harder than Ansur. And I guess we agree with the video too. Orin is especially hard because it's mostly ball, because he can inflict that, hey, kill someone or die debuff, which is super sick when like there's only like I think 2 people you can actually hurt or like at least try to kill. You can always try to push off the channeling guys. They have sanctuary, so it's like if they don't complete their saving throws, unless they complete their saving throws, you're fine. But that alone is like annoying. But even you would have to focus the guys that are channeling anyways, because Orin also gets unstoppables from them channeling, which makes it just like really annoying. Even though unstoppable, if you have like magic missile, isn't like a huge problem, but it is very annoying to deal with. But at this point, if you stock up on, if you have Shockwave, that's one. But if you stock up, this fight is the sole reason. This fight is the sole reason that I stock up on Shockwave arrows or propulsion arrows, whatever the arrows are called. I'm bad with names. We already addressed that. On repulsive arrows, sorry, I'm reshifting again. Because if they succeed if they succeed the saving throw and they just don't get pushed off, and that's just another turn you have to wait. You can push everybody off here except for Orin, I think. But I do feel like we did something to Orin one time where we like kicked her off and we couldn't get her loot, and that was just like super sick. And by we, I mean me and my buddy, of course. But yeah, I mean, Orin is definitely, in my opinion, harder than Answer, harder than the Forage monster that I can't remember the name of. I don't think it's harder than Raphael, in my opinion. Actually, you could be in a lot of bad spots with Orin, I feel like. Like, if you can't kill anybody, you just die. Like, if you get the debuff, you just die. There's nothing you can do about it. If you can't kill somebody, you are fucked. And Hope, like, I don't know, because having Hope here is just like it's such a benefit. It's kind of crazy. I'm okay with this, I think. I think Orin is harder than Raphael just because of, for one, her unbreakables. Two, she can do like the multi-hit attack sometimes, and it just like it can like 4 hits just like completely melts your health bar, and then sometimes you could just like be completely messed up. It's so
can
tough.
easily defeat an unprepared party. Once placed upon you, you must kill a target before you end your turn or be instantly killed. Death Ward does not protect you from this, and when enemies are protected by Sanctuary and Unstoppable, and you are afflicted by Slow and Stunning Gaze, pulling off a kill in a single turn can be a challenge. Orin doesn't make it any easier by causing AoE fear and having her turns of Unstoppable refreshed repeatedly. If your party doesn't have similar...
Oh, you could also summon Spirit Guardian to just walk around. Never really considered that. Well, I mean, not that I don't consider it. It's that I really don't use Spirit Guardians too much. You know, I should. A lot of the majority of the times I use it is in the fight right when you enter the crash against all those undead. There's like pretty goated. You can just like walk around and do stuff. Walk around, just like be a menace to society.
The turn order can make breaking through Heart unstoppable and dealing damage nearly impossible, resulting in a fight that can easily end your honor run. Now, the best way to approach this fight is to have each party member have Alert, to share initiative order, and use Magic Missile or Scorching Ray to remove Orin's stacks before hitting her with your strongest attacks. If Boon of the Unstoppable does end up getting used, the very first attack against Orin will actually deal full damage due to a bug, so if you manage to get a hold monster off, you can potentially one-shot her with a critical strike. Alternatively, you can eliminate all 6 Chanting Reapers. Sanctuary prevents them from being directly targeted, but you can still use Fireball, Ice Storm, Smoke Powder Arrows, Arrows of Many Targets, or Chain Lightning. Arrows of Roaring Thunder and Thunder Wave can also knock them into the chasm. On Honor Mode, the first attack within 4 meters each round can trigger Orin's Sanguine Lash, dealing up to 64 slashing damage and knocking everyone nearby backwards. This also prevents Ball's Edict from being activated. If nobody triggers
Ball's who? Edict? Balls have Edict?
Sanguine Lash, one party member is ordered to kill another creature before ending their turn or immediately die. And despite the wiki saying so, Death Ward will not save you from this, so make sure to trigger Sanguine Lash unless you are confident.
And then also, just like fighting around the guy that got kidnapped here. Half the time, like in my playthroughs, they're level 1 and they are collateral, and I don't feel bad.
You can
like, bro, like, come on.
Secure a kill in a single round. Hero's Feast is actually really good for this fight, as it grants immunity to Frightened and gives you advantage on wisdom saving throws, protecting against Unsettling Visage, Piercing Growl, Slow, and Stunning Gaze. Orin also has magic resistance, evasion, and 3 uses of legendary resistance against incapacitation, so Arcane Acuity will come in handy when trying to use control spells. In the number 1 hardest honor mode fight,
Really? Gortash.
Fight in the game is Coronation Gortash.
Gortash is a little difficult for me to say because a lot of the times we sneak up on him, we hold person, and we absolutely just crush him. I think he gets loose of hold person when he transforms midway through the fight. I don't know. Like the tools, like the machine, the traps. The traps are very annoying in the fight. You have to be very spatially aware. There is a bunch of people in the fight, honestly. If you take down the steel watch, I don't think. No, I think there's like I don't know if there's a steel watch there or not with him. Like the little this person move he has, the little floating finger above you. Oh god. Little floating finger that just like, hey, this person's gonna get fucked soon. Is tough, I'm not gonna lie. Especially just attacking him. He has like a bubble of resistance that he uses sometimes. That is kind of hard to get past. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm forgetting like a lot of stuff because a lot of the fight we just hold person and absolutely just crit him to high hell. I mean, if you're fighting him before the steel watch, like yeah, like brother, like come on. Like, are we serious? I have never done like this is a battle. Like if you're fighting him like this, then yeah, he's definitely up here. But I would maybe put him. I don't know. I could be smoking crack again. I gotta be honest. Maybe here. I think this is a fair place. Again, I don't really consider Answer to be like too much of a bad fight. I could be. I most definitely am wrong. I'm sure. But just as like my opinion, I told you it's like much more vibe based. But this is just what I believe. Let's say. If he mentions with the steel, I want to see if he mentions like both without and with the steel watch.
Counter is secretly the hardest fight. Is Coronation Gortash. This encounter is secretly the hardest fight in the entire game. Instead of fighting Gortash on the upper level, you're fighting him alongside older Raven Guard, 6 Flaming Fists,
but why? What? You don't have to fight him like this.
And 9 Steel Watchers.
If you do the Steel Watch factory first, like it's not that hard.
With 267 hit points each. Gortash has plus 10 initiative on honor mode, and every Steel Watcher has plus 6 initiative, meaning a low initiative party can be defeated before their first turn. You're also likely not max level at this point, and you don't have any of the incredibly powerful equipment you can find in the lower city. The Coronation Hall itself also has many more traps actively trying to kill you than Gortash's office. Grenade impellers and incineration casters constantly launch explosives, while Micro Modron
and like if you're fighting him like this, I can't even imagine the Hellfire, the Steel Watch is like burning you alive.
Force
with.
Curtains repeatedly grant Gortash Shell of Resistance. This gives him resistance to
That's
slashing,
piercing,
bludgeoning, cold lightning, necrotic, poison, and radiant damage, while making him completely immune to fire and thunder. The explosives that are launched are easily activated by your enemies, knocking you into more explosives, resulting in an instant kill. Gortash can also throw a Reflecto Guard onto himself, causing every incoming projectile to be reflected directly back at whoever fired it. But the 9 Steel Watchers are why this fight is completely insane. They can deal up to 40 damage with a single greatsword attack. They knock your characters
like even one Steel Watch is like crazy. I can't imagine the like 8 in there.
They immobilize your party, and they can even pull ranged characters towards them, and they will self-destruct after taking enough damage, which deals 4d12 plus 26 fire damage inside a 17-foot radius, which means that several Steel Watchers exploding together can easily wipe out your whole party. Once Gortash reaches 75% health, he automatically invokes the Black Hand and gains 150 temporary hit points, extra attack, additional strength, and immunity to fire, thunder, and force damage. He can then summon the Closed Fist of Bane to deal 12d10 force damage at the end of the round, or use Tyrant's Bindings to have your movement before dealing 8d8 force damage on the following turn. He also has his legendary reaction, Tyrannical Branding, which places Tyrant's Curse onto a character. Now, unless this curse is removed, an even larger fist falls at the end of the character's next turn for 20d10 force damage, while also giving nearby Baneites advantage on their attacks and an additional action. Now, the best way to survive the coronation fight is to not fight during the coronation. Now, if you really want a challenge, then
you don't say, man. Yeah, you don't say. It does look challenging. I do want to do the fight one day. I'm pretty sure I'll get wiped, like you said, turn 1. But it does look like a fun challenge.
You need to increase the initiative of every party member using alert and initiative equipment. You need to act before the 9 Steel Watchers begin attacking, or the fight can end before it starts. Flash blinders are the single best item for this encounter because each grenade has a 20-foot radius and automatically causes every Steel Watcher hit to malfunction, stunning them for 1 turn on honor mode. This allows you to disable several Steel Watchers with a single action, and you're going to want to try to use their self-destruct damage against each other. Try to group them up around other enemies before triggering their explosions while keeping your own characters outside the 17-foot blast radius. You should also destroy every Myco Modron Force Curtain as quickly as possible because these repeatedly give Gortash his resistances and immunities. And while Reflecto Guard is active, avoid using arrows or other projectiles against Gortash because they will be reflected directly back at you. Once the Steel Watchers and traps are removed, the fight will become significantly easier to manage, and use Hold Monster on Gortash to guarantee critical strikes and burst him down.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that's the end of the video. Yeah, like I said, overall, very good video. I agree with a lot of the things that he has said. He also gave a lot of good. Please get out of the way. He also gave a lot of good advice. I appreciate this video very much. Show Toyhouze some love. I will, just for fun, I'm not gonna go into too deep into these, just like purely vibe based, how I usually go about handling them, just to wrap it up, I guess. He's here twice. Okay, this is me. I'm fighting me. Okay. This is Brulette. Brulette can be kind of tough with her diamond scales. I'll put her in maybe mid-diff. Yeah, because then she just comes, she just leaves, she goes. She has like, there's you usually fight her around like the Minotaurs or like the Hulk horrors, and stuff like that. So I'd say mid-diff is like good. I wouldn't say she's easier or as easy as Gut or the Spiders. I gotta be honest. I don't know who this is. Isn't this just Answer again? So if it is, I'll just put him here. I really have no clue what I'm looking at here. This Cassador, I think. Cassador summons a lot of people. The werewolves, the bats can be really annoying. There's a mechanic where you can stand on the sigils and you get like certain powers. So I never use that. If you have daylight, this fight becomes not a joke, but it becomes like a lot easier with daylight. Please stay in the frame. 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 It becomes a lot easier. I'll put them in kind of difficult. I'd say I'll put them hard actually. I'd say around here, easier than the guy I can never remember the name of. I don't know who this is. I think, is this the guy from the as you're escaping the thing? I think that's the guy that the Mind Flayer fights as you leave. I'll put him in Wet Napkin since he's like, all you want from him is like the drop command to drop his sword, and it's like it's done. It's just like easy at that point because all he does is punch. He summons like 3 or 2 guys afterward, not afterward, but like after a bit, and they're just like you don't even need to do anything. You just want his sword, and the Mind Flayer is 9 times out of 10 the Mind Flayer is getting his as completely handed to him, and I think it's really funny. If I was playing as the Mind Flayer, I would put him above Marco just because he's rocking my shit. The Mother Brain, I'd put it very hard. I'm thinking about the not just like the lead up towards it, just like as soon as you climb the stem, there's the dragon. There's a whole bunch of like thralls. There's a whole bunch of like the minions that I don't really know the name of. The thralls can psychically backlash you. They can like counterspell you. You can't, as you fight along, you can't summon like the people that you have saved, which helps a lot. But like they are going to get overwhelmed a good amount of the time, and they are going to absolutely destroy everybody. What you want to do is just use Globe of Invincibility to just charge up the crown. You can just fly over. You can just fly over everybody or turn everybody invisible if you have enough invisibility potions. There's a good amount you can do with the Mother Brain. It sucks that once you get into the crown, you also have to face the Mother Brain, which becomes immune to the damage that you used the turn prior against her. That's annoying. And then the brain reverberations and also the platforms falling is also kind of tough. So that's why I put her like, you know, I think Orin is a little more difficult than the Mother Brain. If you know what you're doing, you could get her. You could get the Mother Brain wet and then shock her with electricity to really juice the damage. So if you haven't used Thunder, Lightning against her. So yeah, there's a lot of things you could do. There's like a long fight. It is like a super huge long fight. It's like yeah, I think I'd save there. I think I don't know. I don't know about Orin, honestly. It could go either way. I would say because once you get inside, it's not like that difficult, honestly. I've died more to Orin than I have to Mother Brain, so I'll put Orin ahead. Just the Unstoppables are really annoying, and the Curse of Ball is what I call it. So I just put her there. This is, I can't remember the name of them. But you can what is her name? I don't know, the leader of the Gnolls. You can get her on her side, you can beat up the other Gnolls, and you can get her to eat herself. I put her above the not nameless, but the guy. You could get her to eat herself, even if you don't like talk to her. I mean, it's not like super difficult. It's nowhere near these two, that's for sure. Especially because it's an Act 1. Like, it's an Act 1. It's a little, you can find them like, you know, whenever you want, really. But I find that she is basically like a wet napkin. It's not really too hard to get her to turn on her teammates. The frog, I don't really fight the frog. I will put her, I've only fought the frog like once, and it just keeps dodging everything. It is like a wet napkin. It's annoying to get her to get hit, actually. Spider-Man, again, I'm so bad with names. Spider-Man is just, I don't know, because he could use his web sanctuary. He can like, he could do a lot of stuff. I keep forgetting exactly what he can do, to be fair. That's my bad, but you have all the Carnage. You do have a whole bunch of the Harpers to help you out. He does have like the Sanctuary bubble that he can use, which is pretty tough. If you have area of effects, it's not like super difficult, it's just like a little annoying. If you get him to, I think, use his opportunity attack and attack you, I believe it gets rid of that one. I don't know if it's special. I'll put him in mid-diff also, maybe above Boulette. Yeah, I'd say above Boulette. This guy, I mean, listen, this guy is only tough because This guy's only tough because Isabel is an idiot. Like all the little gnolls, not gnolls, but the ghouls that have the paralysis claws will go after her, and you have to baby Isabel, and it's just like super annoying. This guy by himself isn't like really that tough, especially when you have the whole last slide in fighting alongside you. Even if they don't do much, because they surround Isabel so quick. I'll put him above Menthara. Again, I'm just like half thinking these. I don't really fight this guy too often. I know you can join your party and like people like him. I just forget his name, but he's with Shahira. I'll leave him off. This is Nier, right? Yeah, it's Nier. Nier's kind of tough, especially if you don't get the Dragar by your side. In Grim Forage, if the Dragar don't betray him, he can be like real tough. I'll put him, and he also has a ability that I keep for. Again, I'm not like too sure like what the abilities that he does are, but I know he has like a couple ones that I'm always just like. That's a little tough, especially because the Dragar also can push you into the lava, and it's pretty much like game over. If one of your guys gets pushed, like they're gonna die, but at the same time you can also push them into it. This little boy that I forget the name of, I'll put him here. The shadow things that he spawns aren't too hard. If you have Magic Missile, you can defeat his the little kids that he summons pretty easily. I don't know if he has like Radiant Retort. I really don't think so. I'd be surprised, but this is where I would place him. Sorry for being too fast. This fight is, again, not the best. I'm not the best at the game, like I said, but this fight is annoying if I remember. I did it like once or twice. I'm just like, this fight sucks. Like, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, and it takes so much time. I don't bother to learn, and you can just skip it. I don't really care about this guy in general in the story. The Dark Lord, or whatever his name is. Again, I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with the names. The Dark Lord, he has the 3 ladies, which all buff him, and if you kill the ladies, he gets like a permanent stat up. If you rush him down, he's not like too difficult. He is harder than, I'll put him here in kind of difficult, because he will wail on you if you let him, honestly. Especially with the 3 ladies who buff him and also distract. I think one of them inflicts slow, which is really annoying. You might want to just counterspell her. This is the guy in the. This is the super. This is the super Steel Watch guy. He is pretty difficult. I usually just like go invisible and like sneak past him, but he also has like I think 3 or 4 other Steel Watches with him, and he by himself is a pretty big challenge because he can like grapple you, I think, or the other people can. Like the Hellfire is just a really strong move. I think I might put him. I'd put him there below that guy. I feel like people are gonna hate me. Like people are gonna be so mad. Like the Doctor. I know these are all Catholics. The Doctor isn't like, again, he's not like, he's pretty easy to talk to into letting the nurses like experiment on him. Even still, like when I have fought him, I don't remember like struggling with him too much. I will put him below. I just call him Mike. Below Mike. It's so bad. I'm sorry. Put him below Mike. The other Catholic or Thorm. The drunk guy. You can also, it's a little harder to like drink up and tell him stories. His like elemental like shtick is like once you get it, you kind of like understand it. It's still like annoying, a little annoying to play around as because you can't get too close to him because of this reflux, I believe. I will put him harder than the doctor and harder. I mean, I'm taking this as like last light in, you know, and Isabel included. I'll put him below him, I think. Below Mike. The gold lady can go. I think this order is fine. The gold lady, if you don't know what you're doing, it's a little tough because if you walk in with all your gold, you're just like screwed. You can very easily like just transfer your gold onto one person and keep them away. So it's not like too bad, but I always forget to do that. You can also go destroy the skulls and get her to like slowly explode. You get a ton of money from it, which is good. You can also, there's a way to make her like explode, I think, and I just can never do it. I always forget the options, and that's on me. I think she's okay here. This fight, again, gonna rip me up, but I don't remember names. I gotta be honest. I just remember vibes. I'll put her. Now she's pretty difficult because it's just like the sheer amount of people that she has on her side, and the fact that they all or most of them have like the darkness. So I think most of them can see in the darkness. I'll put her here. Just like there's just so many guys on our team. You can talk to them and get them on your side, and the fight becomes like a lot more manageable. She has a legendary action that I don't remember what it is. But it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, eat me up in the comments. Like, I just don't know. I'm just doing this like speedrun fashion. This lady in Kethric's tower is she's a little difficult. She had the black hole move. It's just like if you enter through the front door, you're never gonna move. Like the black hole move. The fact that I think she can have like the after images, which is hard to hit. If you have like the area of effect or like a firewall or something like super bad. If you focus her down, she's like, in my opinion, like the main threat. Because the Harpers are never gonna move, and you're never gonna move if you go through the front. I would put her here, like mid difficulty. I think that's fine. Boulette? Did I do Boulette already? Okay. There's some duplicates here. That's weird. But yeah, I'm not gonna judge these guys. This video is very long already. But yeah, this is the list. I'm sure I can move if I think about it longer, or if I replay the game, because it has been like a little bit since I replayed it. To be fair, I will be able to do a little bit more organizing. Maybe I'll put her. I don't know. The Spectre's like really hard. I think this is fine. I will say I had a very good time making the video. Again, thank you to Toyhouze for the amazing video. It's very informative. And yeah, this is my list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, like I said, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And let me know in the comments what your favorite or hardest fights are in the game. All right, thank you so much. Goodbye.